News of the most beautiful and proud princess spread far and wide, even reaching the depths of the evil forest where a mysterious monster dwelled. The monster, hearing of the princess' beauty and pride, became intrigued. He learned that the princess, Arewa, was as beautiful as the sun, radiant and appealing. Rumors said that when she walked, men fell to their knees and kissed the ground she walked on. But they also said she was filled with pride and had refused to marry anyone. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there lived a princess named Arewa. She was the most beautiful princess in all the land, with hair like spun gold and eyes as blue as the sky. Everywhere she went, people would stop and stare, mesmerized by her grace and beauty. Princess Arewa lived in a grand castle surrounded by lush gardens and towering turrets. She spent her days exploring the castle grounds, singing with the birds, and reading stories of far off lands. Arewa's pride was like no other. She believed she was the best and that no one could ever be like her. Her pride showed in everything she did, making her a captivating yet enigmatic figure in the kingdom. When she walked, it was with so much elegance that no one dared to look her in the face. In the kingdom of Okoto, King Ade had ruled for many years. He was a wise and just ruler, loved by his people. But as the years passed, King Ade and his wife Olori longed for a son to inherit the throne. They prayed to the gods and offered sacrifices, hoping for a son to carry on their legacy. But despite their efforts, no son was born to them. Instead, they accepted their fate and Arewa became their only child. In the kingdom of Okoto, it was believed that only a son could inherit the throne. A daughter was considered unfit to rule. But King Ade and Queen Olori loved Princess Arewa dearly and showered her with all the love and care a parent could give. They hoped that Princess Arewa would one day marry and bear a son who could take over the throne. They arranged lavish parties and grand balls, inviting princes and nobles from far and wide in the hopes of finding a suitable husband for their beloved daughter. Princess Arewa, however, had her own ideas. She was not interested in getting married to any of the men who attended the parties or even walked up to her. In her words, they are not worthy of her. As King Ade grew older, he began to worry about the future of the kingdom. He knew that without a son to inherit the throne, the kingdom would fall into chaos after he passed away. And so, as the years passed, King Ade and Queen Olori continued to love and support their daughter, hoping and praying that she would find happiness and finally a suitor. Arewa was so full of herself and believes no man in Okoto Kingdom is worthy enough to be her husband. The king was very concerned because he was getting old and wants to see his grandson before he died. The king often prayed to the gods to soften the princess' heart so she could finally choose a suitor, but all was to no avail. Princess Arewa, his only child, showed no interest in marrying any man from the kingdom, despite the king's concerns. Princess Arewa remained stubborn. She believed that no man in Okoto was worthy enough to be her husband. She turned away every suitor who came seeking her hand in marriage, convinced that none could match her beauty and intelligence. King Ade's worry deepened with each passing day. He knew that without a son to inherit the throne, the kingdom's future was uncertain. He pleaded with Princess Arewa to consider marriage, but she refused to listen. Meanwhile, the people of Okoto whispered amongst themselves about the princess' pride and stubbornness. They wondered who would rule the kingdom after King Ade's passing, as Princess Arewa showed no sign of changing her mind. The queen, the princess's mother, tried to reason with her daughter. She reminded her of the importance of continuing the royal bloodline and ensuring the stability of the kingdom. But Princess Arewa remained unmoved, convinced that she was better off alone. The king would often call Princess Arewa into his chambers to discuss the issue of marriage with her. He would speak in a low, sad voice, expressing his concern for the future of the kingdom. Arewa, my dear daughter, the king would say, there are so many men in the kingdom who would do anything to be married to you. Why are you finding it difficult to choose? Princess Arewa would listen to her father's words, her expression calm but resolute. Your Highness, my father, she would reply, these men are not worthy to be my husband. When I see my husband, I will know, because he will be very handsome and worthy of me. The king would sigh sadly, feeling the weight of his daughter's stubbornness. But Arewa, he would say, I am already a very wealthy king, and I have a lot of wealth. You do not need to worry about such things. Please consider what I have said. But Princess Arewa would remain unmoved. Among the many men who wished to marry Princess Arewa was a hunter named Deyemi. He was a strong and skilled hunter who had admired and loved Arewa since they were children. From a very young age, Deyemi had dreamed of marrying the princess and making her his queen. But every time he tried to approach Arewa and express his feelings, she would shut him out. She would say hurtful things, telling him that she would never stoop so low as to marry a common hunter. She believed that the only person worthy of her hand in marriage must be a very handsome and wealthy prince. Despite Arewa's rejections, Deyemi never gave up hope. He continued to admire her from afar, watching as she moved through the kingdom with grace and beauty. He would often see her riding through the forest on her horse, her golden hair gleaming in the sunlight. Deyemi knew that he was not handsome or wealthy like the prince Arewa desired, but he had a kind heart and a strong spirit, and he was willing to do anything to win her love. Despite Princess Arewa's hurtful words, Deyemi's love for her remained unwavering. Every time he returned from hunting, he would bring the fattest of his games to present to Arewa, hoping to win her favor. But instead of accepting his gifts with gratitude, Arewa would throw them back at him and walk away, her pride unyielding. Deyemi felt the sting of rejection with each tossed gift, but he refused to give up. Day after day, Deyemi continued his efforts to win Arewa's heart, bringing her gifts of food and tokens of his affection. But no matter how hard he tried, nothing seemed to work. Arewa remained cold and distant, her heart seemingly impenetrable. Despite the pain of Arewa's rejection, Deyemi's love for her only grew stronger. He couldn't imagine his life without her, and he was willing to endure any hardship to prove his love. But as time passed, Deyemi began to wonder if his efforts were in vain. No matter how many gifts he brought or kind gestures he made, Arewa's heart remained closed to him. Still, Deyemi refused to give up hope. He knew that true love was worth fighting for, and he was very determined to win Arewa's heart no matter what it took. And so, with each passing day, Deyemi continued to bring his gifts to Arewa, hoping that one day she would see the depths of his love and realize that he was the one meant for her. So Deyemi devoted himself to becoming the best hunter he could be. He spent hours practicing his skills, honing his strength and agility in the hopes of impressing Arewa with his powers. But no matter how hard he tried, Arewa remained out of reach. She was always surrounded by suitors and admirers, all vying for her attention and affection. Still, Deyemi refused to give up hope. He believed that one day, Arewa would see him for who he truly was and realize that he was the one meant to be by her side. And so, As the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, Deyemi continued to watch and wait for his chance to prove himself to Princess Arewa. He knew that true love was worth fighting for, and he was determined to win her heart no matter what it took. News of the most beautiful and proud princess spread far and wide, even reaching the depths of the evil forest, where a mysterious monster dwelled. The monster, hearing of the princess' beauty and pride, became intrigued. He learned that the princess, Arewa, was as beautiful as the sun, radiant and appealing. Rumors said that when she walked, men fell to their knees and kissed the ground she walked on. But they also said she was filled with pride and had refused to marry anyone. Upon hearing this, the mysterious monster beamed with joy and pride. In his monstrous voice, he declared, "The princess has refused to marry anyone, but she must marry me." The monster had a plan, and he was determined to make it work. With dark intentions in his heart, he began to plot how he would make the Princess Arewa his own. So now, will the monster go to Okoto Kingdom? Will the princess marry this monster? Or will she marry Deyemi? What exactly is going to happen? Watch out for part 2. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching. This is Tales by Joyful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also turn on your post notification so you'll be notified whenever we post another story. See you next time. Bye.